All right, so I'm going to go backwards just a couple of minutes. We've been talking about all the numbers of success for the past 3 weeks. Now we're going to talk about some higher level cranial stuff. The example that I'm giving is Michael says he wants to sell 12 houses in a year. He uses the data cruncher and Workman says if you want to sell 12 houses in a year, you got to do 40 listing appointments. Michael doesn't want to do 40 listing appointments. He wants to still sell 12 houses a year. What's the hack? What's the hack? There is one.
If he finds out, let me know.
Okay. There is one hack. Okay. That everybody's looking for the hack in the real estate business. There's only one hack that I know of for sure. If you want to have less appointments and still sell those 12 houses, you have to close, right? You have to take the number, you have to be more effective when presented with an opportunity. So if the data says, well, okay, you're going to close 25, the industry average is that you're going to close 25% of opportunities that are put in front of you. If that's what the data says, and you want to beat the data, that means you have to close more than 25% of the time, right? That is the only hack that there is. The only hack that there is. And this, what we're going to talk about, I think, is one part of that that's going to make it a lot easier for you. So a long time ago, one of my first sales jobs, I had this really kick butt mentor, and he drove something into my brain that has never left. And those of you that know, this is my birthday week. So if if I think about that now, that was like 30 years ago. Okay. And he said, Michael's laughing. Yeah, don't laugh too hard, buddy. Yeah, don't laugh too hard. He said, hey, Damian, ABC. That's all you need to know. That was his training for me. All right. Said, hey, I want you to make me great. I want to break all these records. I want to be good at sales. He goes, okay, I'm going to do it for you. ABC. That's all you need to know. And I said, ABC. What? Okay. What is that? Always be closing, right? So everything that you're doing, everything that you're working towards, everything that you put out there is funneled towards yes. Okay. Now, don't misunderstand me. That's not to say that we're like stereotypical used car salesmen, that we're pushy, that we don't listen to our clients, that we're worried about the close and not worried about our clients' needs. No, that's not me, not who I am. I want to absolutely serve my clients' needs. I want to absolutely get them what they want and exceed their expectations. I want them to achieve their goals and I want them to be happy and I want them to move on. But I want to be the one to help them do it. And there's nothing wrong with that, right? There's nothing
Sometimes you have to
wrong.
push.
Sometimes you have to lean a little, all right? Sometimes you have to help people get off the fence. Everybody can sit here right now and think about a time where you were saddled with a decision of any kind, some kind of decision, and you couldn't make them, you couldn't pull the trigger. You couldn't make a decision to get into action. And somebody gave you a little shove in that direction, and it really paid off big. It went really well. You can think of that, right? Everybody has those in their life. Okay. That's what I'm talking about here in a positive, very positive way, right? Not talking about being pushy, not talking about being sleazy, not talking about, forcing people into something that's not good for them. I'm talking about putting them into action because they want to be into action and being the one that gets to help them. That's what I'm talking about. Because if you don't do it, here's the other thing I know. If you don't do it, somebody else will. Okay? They absolutely will. So the toughest part and the best part about being the first guy in the door, right, is that they may not be ready to decide yet. And the best part about it is you get to help them decide, right? So ABC. So one of the if you want to really be effective at closing, what do you, and we're going to make an assumption here. All right. Everything that we talk about means that it's us against some competitor, right? Some competitor out there. If you want to be the best at closing, what's the one thing that you need to be versus your competitors? Any guesses? Do better. Jessica says you got to be better. Yeah, you should be better, but that's not the answer. What's the one thing that you need to be versus all your competitors?
Opening. You have to be opening the closing.
Yeah, you got to be opening. You got to be different. Okay. In a positive way, you've got to be different, right? That's what makes people say, all right. I mean, think about a car, since we talk about cars. You're choosing between three cars, right? Three mid-size SUVs, white with black leather interior. Okay. All priced about the same, by the way. All priced about the same. The one that you go for is the one that you view as different and better, right? There may be different reasons why you say it's different. There may be different things that are positive to you that aren't positive to somebody else, but the one that's different and better. You got to be different and you got to be better. Can we agree that in the world of real estate, if you just kind of take a quick glance, all agents seem pretty similar? They do. They all say the same crap, right? What's the one thing that they, but one of the things that they all say the same thing? I am an area what?
Specialist?
Specialist. Very,
Specialist.
yeah, specialist. I am the area specialist. They all say that. All right. What's another thing that they all say? All of them, whether it's true or not. I am a top
Producer.
producer. You can
I
tell
don't know
who's
why I
had the
know all
license.
these answers.
You can tell who's had the license longest. You can tell. All right. Good. Another thing that they all say, I provide my clients exceptional
Service.
service. Right? They all say that. Okay. There's a reason I'm priming you with this. Because if you go into somebody's house or you're talking to somebody on the street and you're not ready, you're going to spit out those top three things too. You are. It might sound a little different. I'm going to pick on Steve. Okay. Steve's at Chili and Cool Cars in Rockland, right? He's wearing his hat and he's walking around and somebody says, hey man, you sell real estate? Yeah. Like, well, I've been looking for a house in Rockland. Hell, I live here. I'm an area specialist. Right? Doesn't mean anything by it. It's true. It's absolutely true. But that doesn't matter because it sounds exactly the same. Right? It doesn't sound like a positive. It just sounds like everybody else that he ran into wearing a different hat, a shirt, or whatever else. Right? Michael's walking down the street wearing a shirt. Somebody stops him to talk to him. Said, man, my realtor really screwed me over. The last realtor I had really screwed me over. Posh, yeah, you never have to worry about that. For me, I provide my clients top tier service. Right? Brendan's sitting in the park on a lawn chair with his laptop. It's an inside joke. You guys are going to love this.
Hopefully not today.
Not today. It was sunny outside. It was nice. He had his Yeti cup. He had his laptop. Okay. He had his Yeti cup from Jessica. Right. Somebody comes by and says, hey, Brendan, man, I haven't seen you in a while. You been busy? Brendan goes, oh, hell yeah, I'm a top producer. All right. These come out all the time. It happens all the time. And you just look the same. So here's my challenge to you. Some people call it a value prop. Some people call it a slogan. Some people call it a whatever. I call it the 1 minute, the 1 minute stump. If somebody is standing in front of me and I've got 1 minute, and it's really nowadays, it's more like 30 seconds or maybe 20 seconds, and they ask me about real estate or they ask me about me, what comes out of my mouth that catches them and says, I want to work with that dude? Buyers are different than sellers. Think about that, right? Buyers are different than sellers. But what comes out of my mouth that makes them say, I want to work with that dude? Let me make it more complicated for you. Okay. Number one, it can't sound like the internet or social media or all this other crap that you hear from every single agent that there is, right? Can't sound like that. Number two, and this is most important, you have to be able to back up whatever you say with either a data point or a historical fact. Okay. A data point or a historical fact. For example, seller says to me, yeah, I've been thinking about selling my house. I say to them, well, I'd love to take a look at that for you. And I'll tell you right now, there is not one agent in Placer County that can outperform my sales stats in the past 6 months. Okay, hold on a minute. Can I back that up? Because if they're really serious, and they're kind of smart, they're going to ask me, oh yeah, like, what do you mean? Right? What do you mean? And what I can say to them is, hey, look, my list to sales ratio in the past year is 106%. Okay, 106%. My average days on market in the past year, even in the worst economy since 2008, is 23 days below average. Okay, I can back it up with actual data that they can go and Google it, okay? Or I can Google it for them and show them, okay? But I can't make a claim that I can't back up. So number one, it has to be different. Oh yeah, I'm really good at listing houses. I do a lot of listings. Okay, number two, you have to be able to back it up with data or a story. Let me give you a story example. I've been thinking about buying a house. I'd love to help you do that. The best thing that you can do is act quickly. Oh, whoa, what do you mean? Well, I'm really proactive in looking for real estate. I just placed some first-time home buyers. I saw a house that came out on the market on Sunday of all days. It looked like crap. I stopped what I was doing. I took them out to see it on the Sunday. I demanded that they write it that day. We got under contract. They now live there. Oh, well, yeah, well, whatever. We're not in that much of a hurry. Oh, I didn't finish. I forgot to tell you that 2 days later, they had a backup offer signed in contract for another $50,000 with no contingencies. I saved my client $50,000 and got him a dream house in their first time home when they thought they couldn't buy. Do you know how long it took me to take that client from, hey, I want to work with you, to putting them in escrow on their home, and they thought they were going to be looking for a year? Do you know how long it took me? Somebody guess. Come on.
10 days.
3 days. Nobody revs buyers like me. Okay? A historical story. So I can back the seller stuff up with data. I can back the buyer stuff up with historical story. All right? So let's think about that for a minute. Let's recap. And all of this, this is your pitch. I want you to practice your pitch so that you're ready. But what this pitch turns into is kind of your value prop and kind of gets integrated into your bio or your description or your words, your biography, right? We're gonna mold it all together at some point, but we can't go there until you figure out who you are and why you're different. So it's got to be different, right? It will be different for buyers and sellers. It can't sound like the rest of the noise. It's got to be factual, and it's got to be able to be backed up with data or a story. It's got to be you got to be able to validate it with actual events or actual numbers. It's a lot harder than it sounds, right? Think about that. Who can do it right now? Anybody? Brendan? He's thinking about it. Thinking about it.
Hey, I closed 100% of my sales this year. Of my listings, all of them sold.
True.
There's one.
It's true. All right. Pray to God they don't ask the next question, right? But it's true. It's true. Okay, so let's think about it. Let's talk about it. Okay. What's the easiest way to get there? Think about, here's the easiest way to get there. Okay. Think about, let's start with a buyer client. Think about the buyers that you've helped. Okay. Over however many years, doesn't matter. Think about what you do for them that's made them successful. Okay. What did you do for them consistently that made them successful? Maybe it was the fact that you were on the MLS at 2 a.m. on Thursday, right, scouring for new listings. Maybe it was the fact that you made consolidated reports for them and they could go through and decide what they wanted to see. Maybe it was the fact that you guys religiously set up showings every Friday afternoon. What was it that you did consistently to make them successful? Okay. From there, think about how that might be different than what the rest of the world does. You with me? Right? As an example, let's say that you set up showings consistently on a Friday evening. Come hell or high water, you guys were going to look at houses on Friday evening. Nobody does that. Okay? Nobody does that. You guys know how it works most of the time. Realtor sits around waiting for the text. I want to see this house. Okay, cool. Let me look at the showing instructions, right? Okay, I'll make an appointment and then you go see the house. That's how it really works. Okay? But maybe because you were proactive, they were really successful, right? Think about that. Then think about what the benefit to those clients was based on your actions. Okay? That's really important. That's really important because it doesn't matter when you're pitching or when you're stumping and you talk about all the wonderful things that you're going to do that nobody else is going to do. Nobody cares unless they can understand how that will benefit them. Right? And the only way that they will understand how that will benefit them theoretically is if you illustrate how you did it before and it benefited somebody else. And then they'll say this, oh, me too. I want to do that too. Right? I want to do that too. Okay? Let's go back. Think about buyer clients, seller clients, what you did for them consistently, how that might be different than what everybody else does, what the result was, and what the ultimate benefit was to the client. You write that down. Okay? From that, you compress it into this is what I do that you can in 30 seconds. Now, obviously, that does not cover everything that you do, right? It doesn't even come close to covering everything that you do. This is your 30-second soundbite that you can drop anytime, anywhere, anytime, nice and loud, so that not only the person that you're giving it to hears it, but hopefully the person next to them hears it too, the one that's eavesdropping, right? Okay? If you can do that, or some semblance of that on random first meetings, and also inside of appointments, your close rate will double. I promise you, it will double, right? It goes a little something like this. Michael, you want to sell your house, huh? Tell you what, Michael, you've already seen my marketing system. I've already told you everything that's involved. I've already told you how I'm going to be personally invested in it. We've already covered that. You've said it's excellent. I've already told you that my list to sale average in the past year is at 106%. I've already told you that my days on market was 22 days below average. Michael, why would you not want to work with me? I'll leave. Just tell me why. Okay?
Tell me you don't like my tie. Tell me you don't like me.
Just
But
tell
don't
me
tell
why.
me like, don't tell me we're not going to do this.
Just don't tell me we're not going to do it. Yeah. Just don't tell me why. Right? How many of you can do that? Buyer, seller, cold appointment. How many of you can just spit it out on demand? You can't. It's okay. I already know you can't. All right? This is a really, really big step for you to be able to do that. Okay? A really, really big step. And here's why it's so empowering. Because we keep talking about over and over again, every single one of you that I've talked to, and even those that aren't here that I've talked to, there's a common theme, right? The common theme is I need more business, which turns down into I need more people in my book or I need more prospects. Okay. And so we keep talking about, well, Damian tries to meet 5 people a week and put them in a sphere, right? Steve's talking about I got to go out and find people in my marketplace and expand my reach, right? Jessica, she doesn't need help with this. She just goes out and meets people. It's weird. All right. Brendan, the other day, I need to start working. I need to start doing a better job working on my sphere, right? It's very common. It comes up over and over again. But then you get in that situation, and I know, okay, I know. You get in that situation where you're able to interact with somebody, and what happens? Be honest. What happens? Joni, what happens?
You caught
Exactly,
me.
right there. You clam up.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? You're like, and you just kind of
Yeah, just get stuck. It's like, I don't know what to do next. You get to a
kind of
certain point.
stumble your
It's
way
like,
through it, or you're not sure what to say, or do I really want to engage with this person and all this stuff, right? I mean, that's totally normal. It's totally normal. The reason it's normal is because you haven't really honed this down and you haven't rehearsed it. It was not normal for me. Okay. And that is not because I am God's gift to real estate. It is not. It is because it's been very intentional that I figure out, all right, who am I in this business and what do I do? What do I do that's different from other people? Why am I better? And I'm going to practice it. If you don't believe me, ask somebody that lives with me. I do it in the mirror, right? I do it in the mirror because I don't ever want to miss that opportunity, right? I don't ever want to miss that opportunity. Is it really uncomfortable at first? A little bit. You know what's more uncomfortable? Seeing somebody else deposit the check. That is more uncomfortable. Okay. So it's only hard for you and only weird for you because you haven't messed with this yet. Once you have messed with it, once you really identify what those things are about you or what your value prop or what your pitch is or what your spiel is, and once you've practiced it a few times, it is not weird at all. It's not weird at all. But that's like you've got to take that next step. You've got to elevate it. Everybody give me a top in your brain. Think right now, and I will probably know. No, we're not going to put that. Everybody get a top producer in your brain. Okay, an actual real top producer. Okay, not the Instagram ones. Those aren't real. Okay, they're not real. You guys know that, right? They're not real. Okay, that private jet they're sitting on, that's not even an airplane. You know that, right? Okay, it's not real. What's the average number of transactions sold by a real estate agent in the United States of America? A year.
20?
0.6.
Jess says 3. Michael says 6. Joni says 3.
Oh, I say 0.6.
0.6. Yeah. It's 3.5. Okay? 3.5 don't put you in Dubai. It doesn't happen that way. Okay? All right. So, but everybody think of a top producer in your brain right now, somebody that you know. Raise your hand when you got them in your head. Okay. Do you think that they have this down? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. Do you think, and maybe this could be a yes, but the most of them that I think of when they come to mind, when I think of them doing this, it doesn't come off sleazy or pushy. Okay. Comes off very heart of a servant. Right? Most of them that I know, they're better than me because I have a hard time tempering. Right? They don't. Okay. So this is where you go next. This is your homework in addition to doing all of the data crunching, to doing all of the uh, uh, action planning and the calendaring, all of the number stuff, all of the data stuff. This is the art. This is the part that, oh, by the way, is the most important. Okay? Let's brainstorm a little bit. Who wants to tell me step number 1, which was think about your last let's do buyers. Think about your last group of buyer clients. I don't care how long. Think about it for a second. Think about what you did for them consistently. Just one thing, what you did for them consistently that maybe somebody else on the market didn't or wouldn't do. Think about that. We're gonna play with this. Everybody here, give me one thing. I'm gonna give you 15 seconds to think about it. 15 seconds is a long time. Then I have a cough drop. Okay, well, I'm only picking on the people that I can see. So, and so you can't click your video. Can't click your video off now. Okay, so Joni, you go first.
Oh, God. What's come to mind is I'm there for them. So if I'm working with them, I'm there for them. I'm looking and trying to find out what kind of property they're looking for. I put it all, gather the information and then search for properties and take them out and show them properties. And that's the one thing that comes to mind right away.
How often do you search?
Oh, more than once a day. Yeah,
Okay, good.
for sure.
Stay right there. You search the MLS multiple times a day for property. That may not sound like a big deal, but it is. I don't do that. Oh man, that's recorded. I don't do that. Okay, good. 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 Michael, go.
Yeah, we found ways. We found a way every single time, no matter what, no matter how hard it was, and no matter how challenging it was. For some of the things that came up, we found a way to get them what they needed to get in the house, and to get the house the way it was supposed to be. And sometimes they didn't always, pull the trigger and do all the things that they were supposed to do, but we handed it to them on a silver platter. We got them a roof. We got them the price they wanted because we did the inspections. We did all the things that we needed to do to solutionize the magic formula for the favorite house for what needed to be done for that situation every single time.
Till you delivered consistent results. We have to share it down. Okay, Steve, go.
Communication on what was going on.
Okay, I got to write this down now. Joni, multiple MLS search. Michael, consistent results. Steve, communication, what now?
Just of what, keeping them abreast of what's going on with
How many times a day?
Probably every other day.
Every other day? Daily update. Brennan.
Due to my 14 years in the real estate business and being a Sacramento native, I have access to properties before they hit the market. I'll be sure to inform you of possible properties before they even hit the market to give you a leg up on the competition.
Did you guys notice? Okay, I got to give it to him. He's the best buyer's agent I've ever seen, anyways. But do you guys notice how he just can't help himself? I asked him a simple question, like, what do you do that delivers results? And he primes it with, due to me being a 14-year veteran and a Sacramento native, I'm going to find you off-market properties. He just can't even help it. It's like liquid. All right, Jess, go. I know, it's okay. You can do it. Okay. One thing. Okay, Real Scout. I like that. Ask about their feelings. Let's go Real Scout. All right. Good. Good. Now, stay with me. Joni says, I check the MLS multiple times a day. Michael says, I don't like the consistent result. Michael says he just persevered through the
Solution oriented.
collusion oriented?
Solution.
Solution. You have to stay in the solution.
Okay.
Otherwise-
That's better. That's better.
Otherwise you
Solution oriented. Michael said solution oriented. Okay. Steve said daily update. Brendan said
Insider trading.
insider trading, or AKA off market properties. He's going to work for Compass next. And Jess said she utilizes Real Scout. All right. That's all good. That's all good. Now, give me an example of how that benefited someone in a positive way. Joni, the multiple MLS search per day. Give me an example of how that benefited somebody in a positive way. They had a positive outcome because of that one thing.
Oh, found a property that had just come up and was able to go and see it.
And buy it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. How many days on market? Same day?
Oh, I don't know.
Okay.
No, I don't think it was the same day.
Pretty close.
Pretty close.
Okay. New property escrow. Michael, solution orientation.
Yeah, we found a way to get the lady the house with the roof, because there was no way she was going to be able to buy that house and
Without a
put a roof on it later. And you found a way to get that closed and get the money back to her with the roof on the top of the house, all wrapped up in a bun with a bow on top.
That was a hard one. Yeah, you did a good job on that one. That was a hard one.
You.
I forgot about that. That was a hard one. Yeah. Yeah, that was a good one though. All right, Steve, daily updates. When did that create a really positive result for somebody?
Well, it's the Elk Grove house that we closed on, you know, but it was keeping them up to date on, you know, like the inspections of things that needed to be done because they weren't close,
Mm-hmm.
and keeping those things rolling along to get to the end.
Got it. Okay, good. Brendan, off-market property, when did that affect somebody in a positive way?
Help them purchase a property without having to go to market and getting to a bidding order.
Jess, Real Scout, how's that produce a positive result for somebody? All right, great. So guys, look, this is how it works, right? Joni says, hey, look, one thing that I do for my buying clients is I look at the MLS multiple times per day. Nobody else does that except for me. Why that's important is a past client, because I checked the MLS multiple times a day, they were able to secure a property that just came out on market and be ahead of everybody else. Right? Michael says, I am solution oriented. I go through the grind. You'll never believe this, but rather than losing an escrow and walking away from a contract, I was able to secure for my client not only a new house, but a new house with a brand new roof that the seller said he wasn't going to provide. Okay. Steve says, look, I give daily updates. You'll know exactly where you are. I closed a property in Elk Grove. The people didn't even live here. They were remote. They were able to take action on inspections and repairs and requests for repairs and credits quickly. They weren't even here to see the house. But because of me, they were able to stay ahead of the game, right? Brendan says, look, I'm a 14-year real estate veteran, Sacramento native. One thing that's good about me is I have access to an enormous amount of off-market property. I've been able to secure property for my clients in the toughest of markets that never hit the market, no bidding war, no multiple offers, all them. Right? Jess says, look, I use Real Scout. Aren't you sick and tired of every time you click on a property on Zillow or Realtor.com, your phone goes off for the next 45 minutes? You don't need that. You'll be connected directly to me and deal with me and only me, the person that you know. Okay? That's how the process works, right? Now, I'm not even putting any thought into that. You guys can do a lot better, okay? But hone it down, find out what it is that you do that's different, make sure that you back it up with data. We forgot about that, but make sure you can back it up with data. Find out how, or be able to identify how that's created a positive result for somebody and just be able to articulate it. Pick 2 for buyers, 2 for sellers, and you'll never be stumped. That's it. Okay? Sounds a whole hell of a lot better than, well, I'm an area expert. I've been known to be a top producer, and I provide exceptional service to all of my clients. Blech. What? I mean, even the people on TV say that. That doesn't mean anything. That's just noise, right? All right. Thoughts, questions, clarifications? You can do this. What do you need from me to push you over the edge to actually do this?
Can I add something?
Please.
If you ever do get stumped or you're having trouble thinking about stuff like this, find something that you like that somebody else has said, myself, Damian, Jess, Steve, and make it your own. Use it. Find something you like, find something that resonates with you, and just use it, copy it, and make it your own.
Absolutely. Yeah. Role play. Jess says to offer to role play. I'll role play with any of you at any time. Okay? Anytime. All right. And I'm even better than the people on the Workman website. I promise. Okay? Anytime. You want to run it by me? you just want to spout it off to me and like have me hear it and critique it and give you suggestions, love to do that anytime. Any other questions, clarifications, anything I can provide to help you get over the hump? Do this by Monday. All right. Make it important on your task list or you'll never do it. You'll never do it. Okay. Because there's always something more important to do. But if you say, I'm going to get this done and I'm going to have this wired down by Monday, I know all of you, you'll do it. You'll absolutely do it. If you say, I have to have it done by Monday, you'll do it. I know you will. If you say, well, it's just something I need to work on, you'll never do it. I know that too. Okay. I know that too. What else? Anybody think I'm full of crap? Raise your hand. No? Oh, okay. All right. That it? Nobody's got anything? No questions?
Not on topic.
Go off topic.
So there's a off-market house in Orangevale, 6-car garage plus a shop. It's 2,100 square feet for the garage area, attached to a 2,600 square foot house.
How much they want for it?
Right at 900. It's on a little over half an acre.
Wow.
But he's trying to sell it by himself. And I've been working with trying to get him to list it. I mean, the closest comp is $1 million.
How many showings has he had?
I don't know.
Ask him.
And that's part of it is he's kind of gotten overwhelmed. So that's a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
So he's real leery about, he doesn't want to give up the commission part. He'll do 3%. And I've already worked with, all right, well, then we'll make it where only pay the listing side.
Mm-hmm.
So I got to have another conversation with him, but we had a great talk because we know some of the same people. So.
Okay. So just a couple of quick suggestions, Steve. Couple of quick suggestions. Ask him how many listings think about it. Ask him how many listings he's had. I guarantee you it's not as many as if you were syndicating it, right? So focus on the exposure point. How long has he been trying?
And he just started.
Okay. So lean into that. Number 2 on the math. Okay. Ask him if he let's say he wants $900,000 for the house, right? He wants $900,000 for the house. Somebody with a calculator, tell me what 900,000 times 1.05 is.
1,350 basically.
One.
Actually, it's more than that.
1.3, 1.4. Is that what it is?
For what?
What's 900,000 times 1.05?
945.
945. So Steve asks me, hey, look, I know you don't want to pay commissions. All right, I understand that. You want $900,000 for your house. I'll tell you what, if I could get you $950,000 for the house, would you pay 2.5 and 2.5 and net 900?
Yeah.
Okay. He might say no, but plant the seed in his brain. Come at him from the angle that you're going to get him more money, more than enough money to pay for everything else that he doesn't want to pay for. And that you're going to do that by marketing and syndicating the listing nationwide and properly.
Yeah.
Right.
How much time is he going to spend doing it by himself?
Well, and he's already, because where he listed it and I found it, and he's got a bunch of yahoos that keep messaging him. And
Sure.
I'm like, and the funny thing is, because when I did a nice paragraph and explained, hey, I'd like to, this is what my plan is for doing and get you more money on it.
Sure.
He went on to my Facebook and was checking out my stuff.
Yep.
And he actually said, give me a call.
Yep. Great. Just keep planting the seeds of quality and keep planting the seeds of exposure gets you more, right?
Yeah.
And you're going to get it because nobody's buying a $900,000 house unrepresented right now. It's not happening.
Right.
Just a waiting game. I'm glad you brought that up, buddy. Good job.
No, it's I mean, I wish I could do it. I mean, that the garage is just, and then
Yeah.
it's got basically a clean room behind it. It's, centrally located. It's close to everything.
Yeah, I want the garage too.
Yeah.
All right. Anybody else got anything off topic? We're
Happy
here.
birthday.
Not yet.
You
Not
said
yet.
it was your birthday week.
It is. It is. But thank you. Thank you. Michael's too. Michael's birthday week too.
Happy birthday, Michael.
Brendan's next week. No. Yep. All right. Well, you know where to find me. Remember, get it done by Monday. I'm going to click the button. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. See you later.